10, 9, 7, 5, 4.
Count, just a countdown, like banana bite countdown. Hey everybody, welcome to our live stream.
We're the Water Street Blues Band, and this is Talking About Live, coming at you every Wednesday at 9 p.m. This Wednesday, and every Wednesday for your natural-born existence.
We've got a hot show tonight, and we've got an athletic bluesman with us, Mr. Shawn Kellerman.
Woohoo!
He's a
All
blues
right.
icon, guitar player, and performer extraordinaire. We're so proud to have Shawn Kellerman on the show. Also, later in the show, we'll be featuring The Lowdown, the totalitarian version.
Oh no.
Uh-oh, that's probably pretty appropriate for today.
Well, hello everyone, welcome to season 3.
Season 3 of Talking About Live, and you know what? We're still here. Apparently, democracy still works. Anyway, we actually want to say something right off the top of the show.
Like who you are?
Yeah. I'm Rob. I'm the guitar player with the Water Street Blues Band, and to my left.
Yeah. I'm Silvia D, and I play keys and squeeze. That's accordion.
And I'm Paul, and I handle the papers.
The paperwork.
Paul's actually broadcasting tonight from a different location, aren't you, Paul?
We had to leave our house. I can't talk about many of the details, but I'm in an undisclosed location. Similar plight, very similar to what's that guy's going through at the embassy, and the other Snowden guy too, except my situation involves rats.
Uh-oh.
No, so I'm in an undisclosed
dirty
location. I can't really reveal it, but everything seems to be working okay, so it's great. We're, I'm actually, okay, I'll tell you where I am. I'm in the washroom of a McDonald's. There's one open McDonald's.
Well, good. Thank God there's a McDonald's still open. We just want to send a big shout out and all of our love and hope for better things and safety to our American neighbors to the south. We've got lots of friends down there, and we just hope that all of this chaos and uncertainty sorts its way out, and that everybody's safe and things turn out much better than they occurred today, which was a really hard day to have witnessed. So we just wanted to say that right off the top. And, what better antidote to the chaos of the world's events today than a little bit of silliness, friendship, music, and a great, honkin', wonderful special guest, Shawn Kellerman. So we're really looking forward to tonight's show. Sylvia,
Yeah.
we're launching something tonight, aren't we?
Yeah, we're gonna. Funny you should ask.
We're launching a new product.
I was completely drawn into your description of how the beacon of democracy is still shining bright in the world. And that's something to celebrate, so we're good about that. And we have a video, Riverside Child, which we're going to play for you as our first lyric video, which was quite an accomplishment.
Because I'm a very bad speller, so doing a lyric video was very dangerous
it was a
proposition.
challenge for you. That's true. Anyway, that's coming up a little later. But before we do that, maybe we could do a little community shout out. So being a new year, Happy New Year. Did we say that?
Happy
Not
New
yet.
Year.
Happy New Year,
Happy
everybody.
New Year, everyone.
2021. We've turned the page on 2020. I've got this sleeve more or less permanently rolled up. I'm ready anytime that vaccine's ready. So we did a little bit of research. We wanted to know, last year was the International Year of the Nurse, and we wanted to know what the international year was for 2021. And Sylvia actually went down the rabbit hole a little bit and found that there's multiple years.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things going on. Well, you know what? 2021 is the International Year of
Bass players.
Write in the comments what you think it should be, but and let us know, because I don't know how they make these decisions, but it's usually done by the And I guess they couldn't make up their mind, so there's a few different ones. Any suggestions out there? But let's see what they've come up with.
So that's the UN.
The UN. Okay. 2021. Maybe this isn't the UN. Is the International Year of Caves.
Yes, and karst.
Capes.
Karst,
Caves.
which are
Like capes?
No, karst
Caves.
and karst, which
What's
are
that?
topographic formations that are formed by the dissolution of solids in rocks such as dolomite and limestone.
Oh, Professor, your knowledge is going to come in handy one day. Paul, this is like an adventure.
Folks, I want to tell you something. I can't, you know what? I can't go on with this charade. That was a planted question so that he could show off.
No kidding.
He made us do that. He rehearsed that. We planted the question. He planted it originally, and now he's showing off. And I can't stand by. I just can't. This is like a farce.
Well, we have some suggestions online. So Fred insists that it's the International Year of Jugglers.
Okay.
Ruth indicates that it's the International Year of the Grocery Store Worker, which is, if it isn't, it should be. And I want to give a big shout out to our friend Brett Barnett, who's on watching tonight's show. He was really thrilled that Shawn is going to be our guest tonight.
Hey, Brett.
Hey, Brett. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, Brett.
Ted has indicated that it's the International Year of Getting Out Alive. I think that's probably the most appropriate suggestion I have ever heard. So, gold star to Ted. So, Sylvia,
Getting out alive.
That's awesome.
That's like, it's a pretty basic need, right? Like, it's totally foundational. Just get out alive.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Well, and it's also, of course, we have the Chinese New Year coming up February 12th-ish. And it's the year of the metal ox, which should be good luck. And just to get extra good luck, your lucky colors are red and silver. And notice that the 2021 $15 silver coin, year of the ox, the metal ox. Perfect. So that's another year of. That one wasn't the United Nations exactly. But
You have an odd way of saying ox. Can you repeat that again?
ox.
Yeah, you can't pronounce the X properly. It's a condition.
It's
You can't say ox.
no, ox.
You go ox.
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 It's the ESL thing. Okay.
It's a problem.
International Year of Fruits and Vegetables. That's the United Nations. Eat your greens.
And if you speak the vegetables will respond to you.
Also, International Year of Creative Economy for Sustainable Development, 2021. So that's important too.
And
the arts.
is there more?
There's more. International Year for these are going to get more serious, for the elimination of child labor. Okay.
Yep.
And it's also the International Year of Peace and Trust. So we need all of these things, and those are serious things. I think Argentina had initiated the elimination of child labor with the United Nations and are trying to reach a goal of eliminating it by 2025. So they're trying to raise awareness about where the stuff that you buy is made and who made it. So this is kind of serious stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Serious day.
Yeah. And 2021 is the year of the healthcare worker. Apologies to the thoughtful person who did this graphic that I don't know how to credit right now. Wasn't us, but anyway, the year of the healthcare and care worker.
Absolutely.
So that brings us to our same old community message. Don't stop.
Don't stop.
Because there is something you can do.
You're on the right track, so don't turn back and don't stop.
That's right. We want those healthcare workers to not be busy.
Don't turn back and don't stop.
Don't stop wearing the mask.
Don't stop.
You're on the right track, so don't stop.
Keep going.
Well, we have a question out there. Fred is wondering whether Brett is a grocery store worker or a juggler. I think I've seen Brett juggle.
He's a drummer.
He's a drummer, so he can juggle bass players and guitar players who are going off time, and sure you could say yes, he is both. Good question, Fred. Keep them coming. But I think it's time to mention our new record. We released a record in August called Talkin' About, We released it digitally since it's pretty hard to sell CDs off of stages these days. And we've been giving one digital copy of the record away each week to someone who can answer a easy for me to say, skill testing question. And last week we asked this question, and
Here's the album, by the way.
no one responded.
No, we're going to, that question is back up again this week?
Yeah, the question's back up because it's such a cool question.
Okay.
So B.B. King, the late, great, and wonderful B.B. King, came to Memphis in the late 40s. And he actually got his start in radio in Memphis by writing a jingle for which medicinal tonic. And if you can name that tonic, we'll send you out a promo copy of our new record. And as a bonus question, we'll send you our first record, Another Life, if you can give me the call numbers for the radio station that he signed on for his first radio gig when he showed up in Memphis. So if you know that, just write it in the comments, and we'll get a hold of you after the show and get your contact information, and we will send you a promo copy of either one or both albums if you know both of the answers. Again, B.B. King got his start in radio writing a jingle for which medicinal tonic? Give us the name of the tonic. And what are the call letters of the radio station that jingle was written for? And a cool little fact, that radio station...
Oh, God.
No, this is, in today's world, this is a really important fact. That radio station was owned by two white guys, and they made an observation that there weren't any radio stations that were serving the African American population in the South, and certainly not in the Memphis area. And they were the first radio station to feature all African American programming in Memphis, and it was so popular that radio station is still operating today. And good on them. They recognized, where all of this music comes from, and celebrate it and provide an opportunity for people to latch onto it.
So as you see, Rob has all but answered the question.
No, I
and
haven't.
I'm begging you guys to answer the question.
We have
so
it.
that you can win the prize.
We have a winner. We have a winner.
Oh.
Silvia, me.
Yeah.
Way to go! You answered correctly. It's of course it was. Everybody knows it was Pepticon, was the medicinal tonic. So we'll send you a copy.
Everyone knows that.
Everybody knows it.
Way to go, Sylvia! All the smart Sylvias
Pepticon.
out there.
So peptic is like a stomach thing, and con is constipation.
So, okay, that's
they're not stupid.
That's
It's early marketing.
But somebody pitched that.
Yeah, early marketing.
Somebody pitched the whole idea. Yeah. Listen, here's the idea. Peptic, your stomach. Constipation, con.
No.
Constipation,
Oh my God!
Pepticon.
You broke the code.
Paul, I think we should probably move on.
Okay.
It's your collection next, isn't it?
This is my favorite part of the show.
All right, let's just see what's happening there.
Yeah, Paul digs deep into the crates of vinyl
Oh boy!
in the canyons of his mind.
What do you got there?
The
Canyons. This week we've got we've still got a lot to go, but anyway, this week we've got a more eclectic sort of collection. This is I'm in the Bichten. I'm on the Bichten, which I don't know what that means. Sorry. No, I hope I didn't offend anybody. This is though, and you can tell, I mean, putting the word romance on it to me is extraneous. Like, let the thing speak for itself. I wouldn't put anything on it. But why say romance with the picture? The picture says everything. The guy's romantic about something.
He's hungry.
It's there's vitamin V in vinyl, so he's probably using it to boost his immune system in today's environment.
Okay.
So
this guy is. You can buy these at IKEA, by the way. Just romance backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Instant rum, which is also a table.
Okay.
If you guys like Italian pastoral Renaissance paintings. You know the kind, you've all seen them probably. They're by a riverbank. Everybody's nude, and they're eating chicken or whatever. Like in
That's
Italy, in Tuscany or somewhere by a river. And
That's
they're all
right.
completely stark naked, eating chicken. This is really what this is a theme. This whole theme is around. This is the Tijuana picnic.
Okay.
And Colonel Sanders, he ate that whole bucket. He ate the whole bucket that night. Couldn't get up. He stayed there overnight. And the funny part is that he came alone. Like, I think that's very advantageous the way he did that. I hope he got permission from that family, because he probably told the cameraman to skew the camera so that it looks like he's with the family. But if you notice carefully, they've got their whole other station there.
No.
He's kind of just sitting by himself eating chicken, which, is kind of bizarre.
And has nothing to do with this Tijuana theme, but it is in stereo. I noticed that.
Of course,
This is a real thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Now,
Oh, Rob, you knew something about this.
we needed to show some vinyl of guitar players, given the fact that we have one of North America's best guitar players
Well,
with us
Sean's
on
in the
show.
green room. Maybe he's watching on the big monitor.
Well, maybe
there.
he is watching on the big monitor. But this is Stevie Vai, little Stevie Vai. And kids, this is what can happen if you tighten the machine heads on your guitar too tight. Like the next just won't survive it. But Paul, there's something else about this cover.
Well, what this cover is about, and Rob is right, it's all about that whole narrative. Like, let's talk about narratives right now when it comes to these covers.
Yes,
Steve Vai, he's an accomplished player, and of course his connection with Frank Zappa is profound. But the whole thing is like a message, and it's saying if you screw the machine heads too tight, you develop, and here's the message, erectile dysfunction. And it's all code,
It's all
right?
code,
And that's why
okay.
it's called flexible too. So, but all of that's fine for me. I really, I skipped over that. What I really want to mention is the 25th anniversary record. And the other thing I want to mention, if you could zoom in, Fluff, a little bit. Yeah, zoom into the guy. No, the guy with the beard riding the Pumobile.
The alien.
The alien with the off-gassing, like he's passing green wind. That is bizarro. That is weird.
No idea what that.
So, some art director thought that was just the most amazing concept.
This
it's-
all
Wow.
points to one thing,
Oh.
mushrooms.
Definitely stereo. That's what it points.
It's
to.
Definitely mushrooms.
It's definitely stereo
Definitely
as opposed
shrooms.
to maybe stereo. Meh.
What do we
Okay.
have next, guys?
Oh, this is a fabulous real album cover. This is of course Frank Zappa's cover to Weasels Rip My Flesh. This was before Stevie Vai joined Frank's band. This is one of the early Mother's Inventions record, and this is probably one of the first records that he really ripped on guitar. The song "My Guitar Wants to Kill Your Mama" is off of this particular record. And it's just an incredible piece of art. So we just wanted to show it, and I love Frank Zappa, and I wanted to include it.
You know, some things that are really cool. This is a beautiful piece of art. Is the David Lynch face? Like David Lynch couldn't do that better himself. This is incredible. That expression on the guy's face is incredible.
It is. It's pure artistry.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
This is my thing. We got to keep coming back to this, and I'm going to do it every season. I'm going to put her up every season. So, Shredding for Satan. To me, she's been burned into my brain as the image of Satan himself, or herself,
No.
with this done electro. What does the D stand for, Rob?
I think it's Diablo. I think that's a Diablo guitar.
The Diablo,
The Diablo.
or Damon. Maybe it stands for Damon.
It could.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Anyway, what's vexing about it, though, apart from the devil part I can, deal with, what's vexing about it is he's got the guitar plugged into a transistor radio.
Red rum. Red rum. Red
And it's on top of like a beer fridge.
Are you
Red
guys
rum.
done? Are you guys done?
Yep.
You know what's really interesting is it's not a real record album. That would surprise you to know that it's not. But it really was the cover of Popular Electronics. in the late 1950s, and they added this little statue of Satan and pretended to make it into an album.
And the cover story was throbbing,
Even worse than shredding for
tremolo.
Satan. It was
throbbing tremolo, and they showed a woman and a guitar.
yeah, it was the whole thing. Anyway, it's meaningful, Paul. Every season we bring it back.
What's the next
Okay, we'll see you season 4 with that.
Oh.
So this whole thing, it's about, it's really not about knockoffs, but it is, again, it's just like Colonel Sanders, in my opinion. So he got in that situation, he positioned the camera, got in front of the family, looks like he's part of the family, which he's obviously not, because he's a full,
Back to Colonel
American
Sanders.
colonel eating a bucket of chicken. Same thing with this guy. He positioned himself with Elvis. This is a very clever play on words. Elvis / Elvis. Get it?
No.
No, I didn't. Not that clever, Paul. But the thing
But
about
I think he's piggybacking. This is called piggybacking in the
is,
biz.
it is.
Check-
In the
check-
biz. we
check
call
this guy out.
piggybacking.
This guy is a serious rockabilly player. He's really, really good. He actually is. He's won several awards as one of the top rockabilly players in the States. So he's the real deal. So Elvis Wayne is his name. He's really, really good. So check him out. He looks nothing like Elvis.
But he really is, I think, in the Rockabilly Hall of Fame.
He is. He's.
that much,
Yeah,
yeah.
he is.
All right. Well,
Why
so
don't his parents just go all the way and call him Elvis?
I don't know.
It's only like 4 letters away.
Well, we've got an Elvis album, don't we?
Lazy
we have
parents.
an Elvis one. Gee, what is this, Paul?
This is an important record for me.
No.
And what's important about it is the sweater. And the sweater's a dead giveaway. That's an illustration of Elvis. It's not actually Elvis, in my opinion.
I think
The sweater looks almost kind of college-like.
I think the sweater it's the thing that really attracts your eye on this album.
That's
cover.
what you noticed about this?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I can't make out. It is an RCA, which is odd as well, because he wasn't an RCA guy.
Yeah, he
was.
was. Yeah, he was absolutely an RCA guy. Totally RCA
Was he?
guy. Yep.
Oh, I thought he
absolutely.
was Sun Records
Guys,
originally.
what are you
Sun, and then he went to RCA. Well, I think that's good.
Okay,
what's
this
the
is
next?
rude.
What's the next
Yeah.
album?
Anyway, I mean, it's this is a pretty common thing.
Yeah.
But what is the small? I can't read the small lettering, Sylvia.
Yeah,
Can you read the small lettering?
It says, gee, I can't read it.
Read the small lettering.
No, I don't think I'm going to. I can read it, but I'm not going to read it. Jesus Chrysler drives a Dodge.
No.
Okay, what's the next record?
Right. Oh. Well, this
Love
is
these guys.
yeah, and Paul, you had this in your collection, so I had to do a little research because these are philosophical.
This was filed actually under guitar headstock that looks like mummified human foot.
They're very space-age guitars. They're clearly knockoff Strats from somewhere else in the world. That's not the U.S. Klingon guitars.
No, okay, I
but this
didn't
is a
notice
this is
that.
a real band, and this there's a lot of history to this record.
Right. So these girls actually had put an album out in 1968 or 69, and their background is quite interesting because it wasn't their idea to play music. Their father had been told by fortune tellers exactly how his life was going to be laid out, 6 children, and everything that the fortune teller said came true. And one thing that hadn't yet happened was one of her predictions was that he would have 3 daughters who would be world-famous rock and roll stars. And so he decided to take them out of school and bought them instruments. So you guys, I guess, were commenting on the type of instruments, but anyway, and sent them to the basement to learn how to be musicians.
Forced to be musicians.
No lessons, though.
No lessons. Not
No,
one.
they had to figure it out for themselves. So
They rehearsed for 4 years, and then they put out this record.
and we managed to find a little bit of video.
Little video.
A little bit of video to go with it.
This is after 4 years of solid rehearsal.
Intensive work.
Oh, the rich people want what the poor people got, and the poor people want what the rich people got, and the
more compression.
So I think that's good. So the
It's a
thing.
whole thing. That's
No,
actually a whole thing.
No. Like this is a real deal. They record collectors, like they produced 1,000 of those records, and then they disappeared, and the band disbanded, and they thought nothing of it, and it was kind of over. And then the records started getting discovered by collectors and people who were really into sort of the punk scene, the post-punk scene, and the grunge guys, and folks like Kurt Cobain loved the Shags.
Are we going down a rabbit hole right now?
No, and Zappa loved the Shags. They're sort of elemental
Help me.
way of playing, and the
Help me, Jesus.
no, very, 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 sincere lyrics. Anyway, they're a real deal.
They really are. But you know what happened is they've developed a bit of a cult following and came back recently, more than 50 years later, and we're, I think, in a curated festival by Wilco and other events where they came back live. And this is the inspiration for the Banana Bike.
The year of the Banana Bike.
Yeah, we think it should be the year. I think it should be the year of the Banana Bike. Anyway, this is another video of them recently at a festival, the Shags.
2017.
There's just no stopping her, this is for sure. She gets on her banana bike and pedals more and more.
It's actually a real improvement from the other one.
They've tightened with age. Okay, I think that's probably enough.
Disrespectful, fluffy bicycle across the thing. We should be doing that.
I'm sorry. You know what?
Well, we're gonna get it's Fluffy's fault.
It's
We're gonna get nailed by their manager or
It's
whatever.
the year of the
Banana Bike.
year of the Banana Bike.
We've got one more, don't we,
Do
Sylvia?
we have one
Yeah.
more? Oh, this isn't.
This is a real record and a
Banana Bike.
real favorite of the band's, T-Bone Walker. On our first record, the opening track is T-Bone Walker tune Evening. Paul does an amazing job of it. But we wanted to show this just because of T-Bone's really unique guitar styling. He's one of the only guys I know who played horizontally to his body, and it had to be really awkward on his fretting hand, although he's had massive hands, but he played so fluidly, so beautifully, and had this very unique and somewhat bizarre way of playing the guitar. Anyway, little T-Bone Walker
right
story
there.
for you.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Well,
it for
yeah.
Vintage Vinyl then. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, thanks for talking about a presence like T-Bone Walker. It's a good segue into our guest tonight, Mr. Shawn Kellerman, and he's in the green room right now, and he's being provided with lots of fluids as we come into the show. But I just want to introduce Shawn a little bit. And say that Shawn is truly the hardest working playing blues guitarist on the scene today. He's powerful. He has incredible stage presence. He's truly a performer. And, for those of us that are musicians, his technical expertise and meticulous, schooling is incredible to watch. And, if you haven't seen Shawn live, I really encourage you to go and try to get as close as possible to that stage and see him up there. So it's a real honor to have Shawn on the show tonight, and we're going to talk to him about banana bikes.
Oh, here he is. Well, wait a
Oh.
minute. That's not.
Look at so cute.
I
So
think those
amazingly
puppets.
cute.
Shawn, can you hear me?
Shawn has regressed into a childlike state because of the fluids that have been provided to him.
Uh-oh.
This is a snapshot of him 3 minutes ago.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
We'd better get him hydrated. In the meantime, maybe we can play a video of one of his great guitar performances with a fabulous blues player, Mr. Sherman Robertson.
All right. So.
All right.
Fluffy.
Roll it, you goddamn rabbit. Roll it.
Summer take you anywhere. Come on, Shawn. How you like it? How you like it?
Yeah. Hey, Shawn.
Oh, Shawn, hey, welcome to the show.
Where's
Welcome
my
to the show, Shawn.
Hamburglar puppet and Ronald McDonald?
Those are so cute.
It got burgled.
I think that was my 5th birthday.
Oh, wow. What a cute kid.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how you been?
Pretty good. Lots going on. even when we're supposed to be still. But
Yeah. So,
I'm gonna hijack this. I have to go back to the Steve Vai record.
oh,
Okay.
good.
Do.
When about a long time ago, I think it was after Pop the Gator, myself and Corey Williams and Steve Brackett were at a studio, and I tuned a guitar
Oh no.
that almost practically did that.
Oh,
It was a late night and a jazz cigarette and whatnot.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that,
About 25 years ago.
yeah. That
So Shawn,
covers a warning to others.
Yeah, right.
So Shawn, I'm curious to know, you're somebody that has an incredible amount of energy on stage and off stage, and you're always chasing something new. What are you doing right now with COVID-19, and how you've been keeping yourself busy?
Well, I can't really go around here, but I mean, and show my new studio for one. But it's I moved in the middle of COVID, and I never knew. I'm 48 now, and I have so much crap that it just took months, and then and then having to rebuild a studio and all that just took practically half the year, and took my mind off of everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I got home. We did a show in Tunisia, and I spent a few days in Paris, and I flew home on March 11th, and I've been grounded since.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the last show with Lucky Peterson.
Yep.
We did a blues festival in Tunisia. That was great. But what else has been going on? Well, actually, before COVID hit, I had recorded a whole CD with Zoom. She's from Detroit, and but it's just sitting in the computer waiting. Where we don't know what exactly to do. But there is one single we want to release, and it's very relevant to 2020, and it's very relevant to the times. I can't really talk about it, and I wanted to give you guys a sneak peek of the video, but the editing just finished 2 days ago, and but it's got to come out soon because it's very relevant to today and what's happening, and yeah. So
It's great. It's great. Looking forward to hearing it, Shawn. And
so busy,
Well, make sure you let us know when you're planning to release it, and we'll make sure that we give
Share it.
huge shout outs on the show about that date and point people at where they can view the video.
Great, thanks. Yeah, and and Eric Schenkman from the Spin Doctors, he
Yep.
christened the studio. The Spin Doctors were doing their live, their distanced
Yep.
30th anniversary stuff, and Eric recorded his guitar parts down here, and we shot them off to New York, and yeah, so it's fun. I don't know. It's the wood room. It's all wood in here, so it's.
Well, from what we can see, it looks amazing. What is it? Have you ever had your stuff? It looks like you've been able to actually get all of your stuff out and be able to see it all and present it all and be able to enjoy it all. And
Yeah,
have
after
you,
a
have you
bunch-
had that? Have you ever been able to do that before?
Kinda a little bit, but yeah, I built this room up a little. I got my stuff was always pretty. Some of the people that have been to my studio, it was like, okay, and I go, don't worry, the end result will be great. Just don't look at your surroundings. But I spent the summer like, I got the wood from a farm. It's not from Home Depot. I got a good source on wood, and I did the wood all myself, and
You have skills. You have skills, man.
yeah, and I still got all my fingers.
That's
yeah,
a good thing. So
Yes,
the
be
Yeah.
careful, Sean. Be careful, buddy.
yeah, that's what people say.
so on the Zoom project, I guess you're acting as a player, but also the recording engineer and the video editor.
Yeah. Yeah, I was. I got actually on this video in the end. Corey Williams did help some of the editing. It originated in Detroit, and then I finished it off. And yeah, I'm being kind of a producer, recording all kinds of stuff. It's it was something to do, like I didn't want to be on the road all the time.
Yeah.
So, it's something to take up time when you and make money at home too, not have to make money like get on a plane and fly somewhere all the time. And so, make some money and have fun, and just being able to do it, and or submit songs for publishing, for movies, stuff like that, kind of
Corey,
jack of all trades.
Corey's online right now. Big shout out to Corey Williams. He wanted to be put on record that you didn't do the wood all on your own.
I'm trying to think of what he did, but it's not coming right. It's not coming to my head right
Uh-oh.
now.
Sorry, Corey.
No, we don't. We don't want to stir anything up. Shawn, I want to sort of take you back to the beginnings. Like, when did you start playing any sort of instrument? How young were you when you sort of got into music?
It started, with piano when I was 5, until I was 14 or 15. But I was doing the whole Royal Conservatory thing, and but my father, he could sense I wasn't into that, so he gave me the opportunity to move over to guitar, and so at about 15, I did that, sorry,
which players or what music was moving you towards guitar? What did you want to play when you were transitioning from the piano to the guitar?
Well, the music I was listening to at that point would have been Johnny Winter, Luther Allison, Stevie Ray Vaughan, to like Oscar Peterson, So there's my
That's
span.
a big range.
Or we're so.
You're on the
Even though I
spectrum.
wasn't what I was learning on piano, I wasn't that thrilled with. So I would have loved to have been Oscar Peterson, but no. So so if you got Johnny Winter records and stuff like that hanging about, or Fabulous Thunderbirds and that kind of stuff. My dad was a huge blues fan, and Glenn Smith did come to the house a few times and drop some albums off. So I was also listening, but at that point I'd already been, my dad had taken me to Chicago Blues Festival. He'd been taking me, actually, I can't even say the amount of festivals I'd been to at that point in my life, but a big one would have been, 1985, I was like 12. We went to Chicago Blues Fest, and Stevie Ray Vaughan was on it. And then we went to like Kingston Mines, they put a big black Sharpie X on my hand, and they let me into the bar. And my dad said, "Oh, I'd whip his ass if he took a sip of anything, and they're like,
Yeah.
"You better watch him," you know.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting in Kingston Mines, like watching Joanna O'Connor or,
Oh wow.
Sun Seals,
Yeah.
you know,
Wow.
all these guys. So, and I loved it. I was completely like Chicago blues. I was totally into it. Like I said, Luther Allison. I loved Luther Allison, and I never did get to see him until 1995. 1995, I saw him because that's when he made he had disappeared to France.
Right.
He left in like 1982, and he didn't come back until 1995. And when he came back, he was on fire. Like, you know,
Mm.
and Paul had said, I thank you for the intro, by the way, but it was when Paul said the energy, seeing guys like Freddie King or Luther Allison in his 50s and 2-hour shows that were just dripping in sweat, energy. Like, I that's my inspiration. So, some people say, oh, you love hard rock or something like that. No, I got all my inspiration from older blues guys
Wow.
that were like kicking. I mean, I worked with Bobby Rush. Bobby Rush is 87 now, and his energy on stage, or
Still, like
that
to
exactly
this day.
still, that's where I get my inspiration from. And I'm 48 now. I'm like I next 20 years I better still be doing it. And if I'm complaining about how sore I am, I have no excuse. So.
Well, those are really inspiring. And we had Bobby Rush on a few weeks ago, and he had mentioned your name too, and the time that you'd spend together. So it was great to have this connection now.
There's a warm smile. We're the opposite of you, Shawn. We're all about absolute minimum effort on stage. It's really about the money and the value and all that kind of stuff. That's why you have muscles and we have nothing. We're just mush.
I, I remember actually having a chance to talk with you about that, Shawn, about how you sort of kept it together on the road, and that must have been your driving inspiration to kind of see if you could eat right when you're on the road, right?
It's a total workout for you, isn't it, eh?
Yeah,
One of
it
those
is.
shows.
I mean, I'm not. There's been the odd you fall off the wagon, food wise, maybe have drink a drink here and there,
McDonald's?
but you can't. Yeah, you can't. If you're playing, like, there was times we were playing like 11 one-nighters or like in a row, no breaks. Like there's no time for screwing around. I mean,
Yeah.
there's it's when you have the time off, you might get in a little trouble.
Well,
And it's just like, oh, what are we gonna do tonight? We're in some city, so you go out for drinks, and it's I'm not a perfect angel, but I realize that to keep that energy up, you have to keep it together. And it's even the food. It's like, even never mind alcohol. Like, I've had food poisoning in the middle of the tour,
Oh,
and
God.
it takes your throat out. It takes everything, and it takes
Wow.
all your energy,
Wow.
and you're done.
yeah.
You do have to be
So
careful.
whether you really got to watch what's going on. It's not a joke.
Now, I don't know if this is the right time, guys, because we're not really super planned, but we're talking about all these influences. I don't know if you were thinking, Shawn, you could demonstrate a little bit of the sound that you've
You grown up
absorbed
with.
from. And I have to also mention, while you decide what you're going to play for us, that I did play accordion with your dad.
Say that again?
I did play accordion with your dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah. It was quite a few years ago, but it was great. It was a great experience. So.
He was a great accordion player.
Mhm.
Yeah, he loved it.
Yeah.
But so maybe just before we get to your influences, the first time I saw you play was at Pop the Gator on the Wednesday Night Jam. It was kind of hard to see you because your hair was sort of hanging down in front of your eyes. But you were an amazing player.
We
But
didn't get any of those photos.
standing beside you was the biggest human being I'd ever seen on stage carrying a guitar, which was Mel Brown.
Yeah.
And tell us, what Mel taught you, or his influence on you.
How do you describe it? It's almost like I hear everything, but like it's like he always has the last word in my head.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't, he came here like right before Christmas, and my dad always had a Boxing Day bash at the house, um, and music always was happening, and I saw Mel Brown the summer before. Glenn, no, it was sorry, it was a little before that. It was a little before that he came and he was playing piano with Angela Straley, yeah.
Right.
And Denny Freeman was on guitar, and it was one of the blues picnics.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, about 5 songs in, Denny Freeman and Mel Brown switch, and Mel got on the guitar, and I was 16, I think 16 at that point, and I don't know what it was, but it blew my mind. And so after that, Mel had started Silent Partners with Tony Coleman
Yep.
and Russell Jackson, and he had come to the Gator twice. And those Glenn was nice enough to let me in the back door.
Yep.
I guess
No
we're
X,
past
though.
the statute of limitations, so
Yeah.
he won't get charged with nothing. But yeah, I was let in, and I went every night to see Mel, and it was just, I even have bootleg tapes from those shows, and I listened to those tapes over and over and over, and made duplicates just to make sure that if the first one went down.
Wow.
But Mel was ever since then, and then so back to when I was like 18, and it was Christmas and this Boxing Day party, Scott Urquhart and Glenn Smith walk in with Mel Brown into my house. I literally almost pissed my pants, like right there.
Yep.
And when he walked in, but then ever since then, it was, he goes, oh, and at the end of the night, he goes, you remind me of Charlie Sexton. I was like, wow. But then ever since then, it was just like playing with Mel and the little tidbits of information. And even when I moved to the States or moved to Mississippi, we talk on the phone for an hour. All his advice, he guided me through all of that. He was a true mentor. So
Yeah, Mel was an incredible man. We were so lucky to have him in our community. Incredibly fortunate.
oh yeah, I mean, to have somebody in your city like that, it's yeah.
Well,
It's amazing, we're all still talking about him. We're all like more than ever.
I think
Yeah.
I think about Mel every
Yeah.
day. I absolutely say something pops into my head about Mel every day.
I'll tell you, so when the first time I got lucky as a guest, it was about 2005, when I was doing the Starlight Christmas shows and stuff. When I picked Lucky up at the airport, he's like, Mel Brown's here. For like first thing, Mel Brown's here, right? I said, yeah. And he just looked me in the eye and he just said, always respect the elders. And he was serious.
Yep.
And then when we did that show that night, Lucky didn't play like Lucky. Lucky was there. It was there to pay homage to Mel Brown.
Wow.
It was just like, because Mel was the guitar player prior to Lucky and Bobby Blue Bland's band, right? So it was just like, so Lucky was filling in Mel's shoes in Bobby's band.
Right.
So it was just like,
Holding back.
yeah. So when he, Lucky's an energetic guy, but it was
Yeah.
like, and then exactly that night, he was like, all he did was pay respect to Mel. And it was like, hey, this is for you. And, and Mel and him played together, and it was absolutely fabulous.
Wow.
Wow.
Magic nights.
Yeah, totally.
Shawn, would you be? Wonder if you would can you play us some stuff that maybe is Mel like, or that Mel sort of has influenced in your playing?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks. And I'm just trying to look at the comments here.
Okay. That's fine.
A lot of Mel Brown fans out there, that's for sure. Corey Williams is a big T-Bone Walker fan. A lot of Silent Partners fans. Oh, Big Dan, hi. Thanks for tuning in, Big Dan.
All
I got my phone up just to see who's yeah, like I don't know. I'm playing a Firebird, but Fire Chicken. But, yeah, Mel. Like, how do you? Yeah,
Very,
something
Right
like that.
there.
very cool.
Beautiful.
One of the things about Mel and you that amaze me is when you know your ability to sort of shift that gear from, like, you're already playing incredibly quickly, and then suddenly you're into hyperspace. Like
Yeah.
you're double timing a lick that is already incredibly fast. And I saw Mel do that numerous times at the Gator, blew my mind, and then I saw you do it.
It's like you flip a switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought I was pretty hot something or other at some point, but that's like when I joined Lucky's band, it was like you had to be at 150% like instantly. There was no warming up. It was just like there was like a time where in the last year we landed in Poland and we were still like 5 hours from the gig, and you just have to run out of the truck, and they lost all our luggage, and it's just, I see pictures on the internet and I'm going, oh God, they lost our luggage for 4 days. I stink. I'm wearing running shoes. I'm wearing like my day shoes, running shoes. We just look horrible. But there was 5,000 people out there. I mean, what are you going to do? Get on the mic and complain? I mean,
No.
you just have to. It's just like we literally got out of the van and walked right up the stairs, right on stage, and and we just, it's like there's no complaining.
So I mean, Lucky. I mean, God rest his soul. Unfortunately, Lucky passed, but he must have been a really big musical influence on you as well.
Yeah, it was. It really kind of started. Man, when I really love it when he signed a big deal in like I think it was about 1991 or 92, with Verve in France.
Yep.
And I mean, at that point, I mean, Buddy Guy hadn't even signed his deal. Like Lucky had like 3 tour buses at that point. But when those records came out, they were probably up, other than B.B. King, they were the best produced blues records, well thought out, really well played, some of the best players, in the business.
Those are the Jatan ones.
Yeah.
They're awesome. They're amazing.
They're amazing, and it was great. The first two were like, okay, let's introduce Lucky as a solo musician. He'd already done a couple Alligator, but they really they said, okay, we'll keep it kind of pretty close to, blues, like stock blues. But then it was like when it got to the third record, it was like, okay, we're gonna get Bootsy Collins in here, we're gonna get Larry McRae, all these guys, and the records just kept escalating on getting better and better. And that, and being able, like last year, to produce Lucky's 50th anniversary record, the whole goal was to like match the level of those records. That was the goal.
And that's the one that comes with a DVD as well, right?
No, that is not. That one was back from a few years back.
Oh, okay.
We did in Germany. That's a really good one too. But that was right when I joined the band. It was like 3 hours of music on a DVD, and then but no, this is the last one that came out technically November of 2019, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, man, time is a little bit weird right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it was his 50th anniversary CD. So
are there any guitar style part of your style that you took on from playing with Lucky? Anything you might want to demonstrate that's sort of Lucky Peterson-ish?
well, it's just kind of
It's
his
so
power.
funky too.
Yeah, well, see, the fact that he didn't play with a pick, he goes, Shawn, you know, if I dropped a pick on the ground, he goes, oh, Shawn, you got to bend over and get your crutch. You know, he thought it was because he played with his fingers.
Yeah.
And he was so fast with his fingers. But so, you know, if we're talking technical with guitar players, because he was playing instead of like one or like doing like this,
Yeah.
the way he did with his thumb and his finger, he could produce what we call a ghost note. And it was always just like you could feel the pressure before the note.
Right.
And that's why that's why there's so much feel in each note, because he was putting all this like pressure with like whatever finger he wasn't using. The other finger was like kind of like, so it was like pop, you know, it was like the note would come
like
up.
a compression.
That's why I could never match him. It was just like I was only like, you know, I said, why? I said, well, I think I'll try and play with my fingers. He said, stick with the pick. I was like, thanks, Lucky. You know, but yeah, no, when I do an Albert Collins thing, I try and I use my fingers. But yeah, no, to play like Lucky, like he would, it was just always the power, like. I don't know. It's just his power. I can't really copy Lucky per se, but but it was just kind of his intent. You know, I try and take that on.
That energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sylvia, you got a photo of Shawn and Lucky at the
I do.
sort of the high energy
do.
photo.
The high energy photo. I brought that.
Yeah, that's us after a day in the studio. We were done.
It's just, you know what? It's
Lucky comes equipped, eh?
Oh yeah, he's always got a
He's got his
blanket.
whole system there.
Oh yeah, we got the sheets of paper for writing, a guitar, a blanket. He literally like overdubbed guitar tracks like right in that spot.
Wow.
Well, and he has so much energy on the stage, as do you. This really, you can, you know, all these stories are kind of really painting a vibrant picture of the path that you followed with your music. It's fabulous. Great to hear these
You're
stories.
living the dream.
And great
Yeah,
to hear you
I wanted to say also, like, you opened up with Sherman. It's a shame he had a stroke in 2011, but it was a dream of mine also with him. It was like, I first saw him, I'd never heard of him. And I saw him in Tampa Bay when I was in Florida in 1996. And he blew me away. So he was another one of my guests at the Starlight. And, you know, and that footage was taken from Jacksonville Beach in 2010. He'd hired my band to back him up at like New Orleans Jazz Fest, Memphis in May, that festival, and one in Houston. And yeah, it was so much fun. And I stayed with him for like 4 or 5 days. And he's another guy who was such an inspiration, and his energy and, you know, kind of philosophy on life. It was great to spend time with him. It's a shame that he's still with us, but he can't perform anymore.
Well, you guys obviously had some great energy on stage. I mean, that little clip that you supplied was beautiful.
Yeah, it was. He was a lot of fun.
Yeah. You also did a lot of touring with Bobby Rush. How did that? How did that come about?
It's kind of it's a funny story too. It was like I was on vacation in Delaware and driving down.
Who vacations in Delaware?
Well, there's beaches actually there.
Okay.
I mean, in the summer it's warm.
Okay.
But yeah, I was there. I was down there because when I lived in Washington D.C., I went down there.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, Bobby Rush's name was up there on a marquee. So I walked in, and they'd been doing sound check, and I said, "Oh, okay, I'll come back later." And I came back, and I sat in with them that night, the
Wow.
band, and I
Cool.
met everybody. But then it was about 5 months later, I moved to Mississippi in 1997. He said, "Okay," he goes, "I take a break at Christmas. Why don't you come down here after that?" And he put me up. I was up at his house for 3 or 4 months before. He said, "Make sure things are different." He said, "Things are different down here," and I said, he said, "You might not like it." He said, "Stick it out for a bit." So I stayed at his house, and him and his wife were so gracious. And yeah, and then I stayed down there for 3 years, and I learned a lot. Saw a lot of great bands, like seeing Little Milton. We were on so many Little Milton shows that it was so great to see him.
Were you just doing
Bobby,
the Chitlin circuit with him? Were you just?
yeah, doing the Chitlin circuit. Bobby was there's two different circuits. There's the white circuit and the black circuit, and he was mainly on the black circuit.
Yeah.
So, and I was doing probably 90% black shows and like 10% white audiences. So, yeah, and we did some European stuff. We did Germany and that kind of thing, and but to the shows, like to be on a bill with Lattimore, Bobby Bland, Little Milton, Johnny Taylor.
Wow.
It was just
Incredible.
and it was amazing, so.
Now, as I say, we were so thrilled to have Bobby as a guest, and he's just a lovely human being.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, him and his wife had put me up in the beginning for me, and then my first daughter was born down there, and I spent my years down there and met a lot of other good friends that lived in Jackson, Mississippi, and I met tons of people, and I left. I don't get down there that often, but there's a lot of good friends from Mississippi.
Well, we've talked a lot about people you've played with, and but you've got your own career, your own trio, and you got a bunch of albums. If people want to grab a Shawn Kellerman record, where would you want us to send them?
Well, it's ShawnKellerman.com, and or iTunes. Hate to say it, I don't support Spotify. It's not my thing, but that's a whole other story we don't need to talk about. But yeah, it's that's you can get on iTunes or just go to my website, and if you want a hard copy, you go to my website and you get one. So.
And there's your website there.
Yeah.
Oh, Fluffy's on the ball today. Hey,
Well, Shawn, it's been really a lot of fun talking with you, and
an honor, honestly. Like you're incredible.
Thank you, Bob. Thanks for asking. It's good to talk to people.
It is, isn't it?
It is good to be able to talk to people.
A lot more stories than we knew about, or at least that I knew about all the different times that we spoke. So this is a unique opportunity. We get a chance to share with everyone. Thank you.
Paul?
Yeah, and actually, it doesn't happen too often, but you're an amazing guest. Like, we have done the entire show. Like, we're done. Like, it's already 10 o'clock. We just got into this conversation. So amazing.
I could talk more, but no.
No, it's just we get into it.
We'll have to
it's,
have you
it's a
back.
great
We'll have to have you
conversation.
back.
Yeah, there's a lot more to talk about and listen to together. So if you could do that for us sometime in the future, that'd be great. So we want to thank you very much, Shawn, for joining us tonight and for sharing your new studio and your wonderful stories. And you're just a great personality. You have amazing energy, and you're much more fit than Rob or I. And we like.
I might be the COVID is, and they closed all the gyms. I'm going downhill.
Yeah. So we've got a clip we'd like to do, but before we do the clip,
A video.
it's a video,
Okay, just checking with
and
Fluffy.
it's actually from the Lucky South Korea.
South Korea, yeah.
Tour, yeah. So we've got Fluffy's got that up in the queue, but before we do that, we're going to escort you. Fluffy's going to come and escort you to the green room. And we have been talking, Shawn. You have actually an extensive team of lawyers. When you get into that kind of level of musicianship, you need to have a lot of legal representation. And through this contract process of being on the show, we've come up with a rider. Now, this rider that you asked for a prestigious guitar. And that's going to be difficult for us.
Did you get something like
because
that?
because of our earning potential during the COVID-19 thing. So we have put together a little bit of money, and we're gonna give you 4 options to choose from, and we want you to display these prominently in your new studio. So the first option is the Gibson Station Master. Or Stairmaster. I can't read it really. And that will look great on stage, I think,
It's not
depending
a Gibson.
on...
It's Paul, it's not a Gibson.
What is
It's not a Gibson?
No, it
Okay.
can't be a
It looks
Gibson.
different, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, these
that's-
actually, yeah. Anyway.
What's the next one?
It's very homemade.
I mean, I don't know which one to choose. Jeez.
The bunny.
Option B is
Choose-
the Fandor
the fan?
Replicator. Option 3, Fluffy picked out. It's called the
Does that
Bunny.
say gypsum? No.
That's the bunny.
Gypsum. Gypsum. And the last one is a complete Gibson Les Paul. Beautifully crafted.
Yeah. I'll s-
Beautifully.
yeah.
I mean, I think there's the magic marker techniques alone here, Shawn. Anyway, and
I'll keep
next,
this one.
Okay.
which one? Yeah. So
Shawn,
you can make that decision personally.
He's saying he picks that one.
Do you want to set up the Korea video a little bit? Just tell us a little bit more about that show.
Yeah, Korea. It's. I mean, right from this video, you'll feel the energy. It was. I only played once in Asia, in Hong Kong with Bobby Rush, but in the '90s. But yeah, and this year in 2020 we were supposed to go to China and Japan, but that all got obliterated. But yeah, I don't know. It shows the excitement of what's going on in Asia when you come and play. It's just like it was unbelievable, and it was like that for the 90-minute show. It was just like full on energy.
All
It was
right.
great.
Well, let's send you out to the green room with 90 minutes full of energy.
Thanks, Paul.
All right,
I mean,
thanks,
not
guys.
you, not you, Paul. Thanks.
Thanks, Shawn.
Thanks, Shawn. Take care. Be well.
The great Lucky Peterson and Shawn Kellerman.
Yeah.
Wow.
All
Oh, Shawn's
right.
still with us.
How are
He
you?
didn't, he, didn't
That's a
make,
good thing I didn't take my pants off yet.
he didn't make it to the green room.
It's fluffy.
I had to.
It's fluffy.
I had to take the tags off the new jeans.
New jeans, man. I should have bought new clothes too.
Christmas jeans.
Oh, Christmas jeans. Nothing better than Christmas jeans.
All
well,
right.
We got an executive decision to make, guys. We're over time, which is really a wonderful thing because we had such a great time talking with Shawn Kellerman tonight.
No, we're making him
I
stay
think
even longer.
I think we'll skip our tunes,
Yeah.
and I want to get into this bass playing thing.
Or are we? No. We promised to launch our lyric video.
Oh, right.
Do we? Still, yeah, let's launch.
Let's
it.
launch
do
the
that.
video.
All
Let's
right.
launch
All
the
right,
video
let's
and call
launch
it a
the
night.
video.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, let's
Next
do
week.
that. Thanks, Shawn.
Thanks, Shawn.
Thanks.
Just skip the bass thing again.
One more time.
Skip over the
Launch
bass.
Launch.
Born by the river, 10,000 years old. A tall green willow shades a brand new soul. A rockabye train that stopped in 19. Daddy getting stronger in the factory machine. Weeping willow growing just a little bit wild. Takes me all the way back to that riverside child. Run across the bridge, counting railway ties. Skipping stones on the water from the other side. Mama and me rode the truck at sunrise. Climbing cherry trees with all the immigrant wives. Weeping willow growing just a little bit wild. Takes me all the way back to that riverside child. Train rumbles by, counting the days. River floating and tears in her eyes. Mind on a getaway. Well, I was trading empty pockets by the campfire light. River and the rail rocks another night. Vagabond stories where the cattails grow. Barefoot and blue jeans all the way home. A weeping willow growing just a little bit wild. Takes me all the way back to the riverside child. Train rumbles by, ooh, counting the days. River flooding and tears in her eyes. Mind on a getaway. Well, I was trading empty pockets by the campfire light. River and the rail rocks another night. Vagabond stories where the cattails grow. Barefoot and blue jeans all the way home. Weeping willow growing just a little bit wild. Takes me all the way back to the riverside child. Well, I was born on the river. Born on the river. Born on the river. Yeah, they called it Chippewa. Born on the river. Born on the river. Yeah, they called it Chippewa.
Fluffy.
Well, folks, we ran a little late, but we did it for a good cause. It was a great conversation with Shawn Kellerman. We're going to have him back and do a part 2. Sylvia,
Yes?
go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, may I?
Yeah.
I was just going to mention that was real video footage of a phone unsafely outside of a car on that river, the Chippewa, which became the Welland River. And there's a lot of history to that. So we shared a lot of that on in our social media. So I just wanted to do a quick shout out to where you can find us online. And we're Water Street Blues Band on Instagram, or Water Street Band on our website, and Water Street Blues Band on YouTube. So if you get a chance to pop by, if you're at YouTube, pop over to Facebook. If you're Facebook, pop over to YouTube, And that's how we live right now online.
We're only 999,090 likes away from 1 million on our YouTube page.
That's what we need.
That's
what we need.
daunting.
It's daunting. Well, it can happen.
It is
can
daunting.
happen.
It is daunting.
And,
Success is elusive.
Right. And we also have, since we went over it this week, we've got a lot more material, a lot more music for you next week. That's for sure.
Yeah, we'll have more music next week. We won't shortchange the music next week.
Well, the truth was, it was all that international year of this and that. That was my fault. So I
think
I
so.
apologize.
It's like you're going to get a position at the United Nations.
It was a dream.
Do we have anything on the guest front?
Well, we might have.
We've got surprise guests next week.
Yeah.
We're having an interesting thing happening right now.
Okay.
So we will let you know.
Is it fluffy?
We'll keep
it
you in
fluffy?
suspense.
Yeah.
Well, we usually announce this anyway, on the weekend. So we'll text you all personally. Actually, you know what? We'll call you all Sunday morning.
So please
call you
text
at
us
home.
your personal phone numbers, and we'll call you all.
Send us your personal phone numbers, and we'll call you all individually and let you know who the guest is next week.
Does this link to the totalitarians, the totalitarian bass players?
No, we'll save that for next week.
No, we'll save that for
next
next
week.
week.
We'll save that for next week.
That's just a little preview. We've got a lot of material. Like, I've been thinking that we've got a lot of material we need to kind of flush away.
I just feel bad
that we've never been able to use. So maybe next week we're gonna put everybody, put it all together and do a show without a guest next week.
I
see.
think the band needs some collective Pepticon.
I think we need to pack up, guys.
I think it's time to pack up.
Really.
Good night. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, Paul.
We'd like to thank our sponsor, Geritol, Pepticon,
Fendar.
Paul, I noticed for the first time you were lifting something in that video.
The Gilson Les Paul and Bunny guitars.
All guitars have been provided by Gypsum Guitar.
Oh, Fluffy.
The fireproof model, 335 Gypsum.
Just keep moving my
Deluxe.
accordion back and forth, too.
Good night, Fluffy. Wherever you are.
Good night, Paul.
We're the Water Street
night,
Blues
John Boy.
Band. This has been Talking About Live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Thank you for joining us, and come back
night, Jim
next
Bob.
week.
Good night, Mary Ellen.
Good night, Shawn.
Good night, Grandpa. Good night, Sean.
Nighty night.
I bet you he's tuning that Gypcrete.
He's tightening them really tight. He wants to achieve that Steve Vai guitar shape.
Oh.